Getting back into World of Warcraft has kind of been like slipping on this old, comfortable jumper for me. You know, it's well worn and I know I probably shouldn't wear it anymore, but I do. It's actually been a while since I felt like I've been this into the World of Warcraft. The last time being when the first expansion launched, which was the Burning Crusade. But with Warlords of Draenor, it's like there's been a few reasons why I've been like so into the game again. The story's characters are actually characters I'm interested in this time around. You know, from the expansions after Burning Crusade, you know, with Arthas in the Wrath of the Lich King, I didn't really feel like I needed to know more about him since I knew a lot of his origin story already. And with Deathwing and Cataclysm, you know, again, a dragon, something I wasn't really interested in. And with Mists of Pandaria, well, I just didn't have a reason to really get into that expansion. Characters like Thrall, Juraton, Grommash, these characters, I really got to know them in Warcraft 3 and I really liked them then. And having them featured in this alternate timeline in Draenor is kind of interesting to me, and I really would like to get to know them better and quest alongside them in Draenor. And when I spoke to the lead game designer, you know, he mentioned that this is kind of what they were going for with Draenor.
Bring your war chief their heads.
World of Draenor is about actually going back and visiting the birthplace of the orcs, the race at the center of a lot of the Warcraft lore, as well as the Draenei. Players who are familiar with the real-time strategy games that kind of gave birth to all of this 15 or so years ago may remember that, you know, in Warcraft 2 Beyond the Dark Portal, well, Draenor, the Red Planet, was what was beyond the Dark Portal. And actually looking back at some of the instruction manuals from those games are part of what gave rise to the idea to revisit the world today.
Solo questing in Draenor is pretty epic. It's great in that it makes me feel like I'm part of something really big and grand, you know. There's big wars and stuff going on, and I have an influence in what's happening in Draenor. These characters, they fight beside you, they address your character, you know, you're transported around a lot as part of the story. And a lot of these quests kind of finish with an instanced area which have like a big epic battle that you control and you turn the tides in. Draenor also introduces this garrison feature, which is basically like the small plot of land that you're given as a character, and you build it up, you put buildings into it and you control it, and it's sort of like a base of operations. And you know, it's not just a side quest thing, it's really integrated into what happens in Draenor. And I see these garrisons as a form of daily almost. You know, they give people who are time poor like me something to do on the side. It's easy for me to log in and just, you know, send my followers on missions. It's really convenient. I can basically turn it into a hub with almost everything I need profession-wise, and it really minimizes the number of times I need to go back to the main cities. The second thing is managing garrisons is very much a single-player thing. You do it on your own. You know, you go in and it's instanced, so no one else can be in your garrison unless you invite other people to come with you. And you know, it's this thing that's cool that you can share with other people that you've built in Draenor.
I want to offer ways for players to branch out. Maybe it's not something you're going to do right away, but maybe it'll be something that you do a few months in. Once you've gotten your characters to max level, you're into a raiding cycle. On off nights when your guild's not raiding, what do? I think the garrison is a little bit different because it's not strictly a mini-game. It's also very much integrated into the core storyline and experience of leveling up and engaging in Draenor content. There are aspects to it, such as collecting followers, sending the followers out on missions, that have a bit more of that feel. You know, it's a way of introducing some offline progression, some other elements that we haven't seen in World of Warcraft before, and that is designed to be a bit more optional.
It's all these changes that make World of Warcraft a different experience to what it was back in 2007. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, back in the Burning Crusade days, I was a student who had a lot more time to spend on the game. I guess it's fortunate for me now that, you know, the solo questing experience is easier, it's less about grinding, and it's more about focusing on the story.
This was not our destiny. Times change.